Hi, this is Trinisha Cottrell, and today I wanted to talk about consideration. So, you're probably wondering what's making me wanted to do a video about consideration. So I've been thinking a lot about how when we work on ourselves, we do think about how we can improve. We think about what it is that we can do to be a better person. We think about how we could have behaved in a certain situation. But as life goes on, we start to build ourselves up. We start to be more confident. We start to believe in ourselves more. We start to think about the things that we want. And somewhere along the way, we forget that other people have feelings as well. We forget that other people may feel a certain type of way because of one thing or another. And most of the time, it has nothing to do with us. Most of the time, it's something that someone else struggles with on their own or something that they're going through in their life. And we, of course, take it personal because we get a little conceited. And we're like, oh, it has to be because of something that I did, not that they went through something on their own that's making them feel a certain type of way, or they feel this way because someone did something that hurt their feelings yesterday, or they're in their feelings today for whatever reason, just like you're in your feelings today or yesterday or a couple weeks ago because you were going through something in life or you were dealing with some trials, tribulations, and storms. It's the same way that other people will go through the same thing. And sometimes we forget that other people are going through things as well. Like for me personally, when I think about a job and like certain people that I work with, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be the kindest I could be. And there might be someone in your work environment who's not very nice or has like a bad attitude. But we don't know if they lost someone. We don't know if they've always struggled and this is like they feel the pressure because they have to be the best to be there. We don't know what type of pressure they're under. We don't know what kind of emotional, psychological, mental state they have to be in every single day to be at work, to push through. We don't know how they feel about themselves. Like, any person who loves themselves, who really truly is focused on God, number one, over everything else, any person who is loving their wife or whoever else in their family, whoever else it is that truly deserves their love, their respect, their honor, is usually not in a bad mood all the time. Sometimes people will be in a bad mood because of something that they're going through, or maybe they're trying, but they're constantly being put down at home. We don't know what someone else is going through. So I try not to assume, but I also feel like as people, as we go through life, as we do different things, we start to forget that other people have feelings. We start to forget that they're going through their own struggles. And it's easy to say, well, this coworker, friend, this significant other, partner, person, potential partner is just rude. They just don't like me. They just think that I'm the worst. It's obviously something wrong with me if this person doesn't like me. Like, it can't just be because that person feels insecure. It can't just be because that person has been through a lot and they're not ready. It can't just be because that person has a lot on their plate and they really just can't handle it right now emotionally. And I'm not saying that to give people a pass to say, oh, I'm just never ready so they could string someone along for years. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is we really do have to consider that other people have feelings. Like, I constantly this is gonna sound so silly and it's ridiculous because it's like common sense. But I constantly have to remind myself that men have feelings. I really, really do. And it's not because I think that they're not allowed to have feelings. I want men to like cry. I want them to do whatever it takes to know that it's normal. It's okay to feel however you feel. Like, I want them to feel completely comfortable being emotional so that we don't have to constantly try to make someone tell us how they feel. Like, I want them to be in a position where they are comfortable enough to express themselves, that they feel like it's okay for them to cry when something is sad. So that if I have a potential person or if I meet someone who I might have kids with one day, I don't want them to be like, oh, suck it up to our son. I want them to be like, it's okay. Like, emoting is a human thing. A human feels emotion. That's normal. It's not that they're weak because they cry. They're a human being because they cry. If someone passes away, that's a normal emotion, sadness. Like, women can feel sad, men can feel sad, everybody could feel sad. So why is it that we have this huge like burden that we put on men to not feel anything? It's just it's so weird to me that we would be so hard on men like that. And I'm not saying that we should be easy on them and just let them do whatever they want and let them walk all over top of us and do whatever they want every day. I'm just saying that we have to empathize with each other and really, really sit there and listen and not just rub it in people's faces, not just throw it back in someone's face, not just make them feel badly because they are trying to open up to you. Like, really give them the space so they feel comfortable so that they will be able to talk to you, which is why, like, for me, like, honestly, for me, whenever I talk to anyone, it could be someone that I'm friends with, it could be a colleague, it could be a friend, it could be a potential person, whoever. I want them to talk as much as they possibly want to. I don't want them to feel like it has to be all about me. I don't want them to feel like their opinion is irrelevant. I don't want them to feel like they can't be comfortable expressing themselves. I want them to feel like I'm really listening to what it is that they're saying. I want them to know that I hear them, that I actually see them. I want them to know that I'm not just prejudging them, judging them. I might be making observations like, okay, this is what's important to them or something like that, but I'm not just like, oh, whatever. Let me just only talk about me and what I want. Like, yes, I do want things, but most of the time when someone's talking, I can tell if we're on the same page, if that makes any sense. Like, if oh my goodness, I might date myself or something if I and I don't mean like going out somewhere. I do me dates as well, but I mean like I might tell my age if if I say this, but I'm not gonna do that in this video. I was just about to do something, but I'm not gonna do that because that's just a lot. And so, but yeah, like usually if like for people that watch this video, you know I'm religious. You know that God is number one in my life. He's everything to me. If I'm talking to someone and they say something like, "Yeah, I don't believe in all that God stuff," obviously we're not we're not a good fit. We're not equally yoked because I can't imagine my life without God. And so things like that, it's like I don't have to be like, are you this? Are you, like I don't have to constantly be talking about what I am, especially if I know who I am, if that makes any sense. Like I feel comfortable with myself, in myself. I feel comfortable being myself. I don't feel like I need to present myself as someone else because and I haven't always been that way, and I would like to pretend like when I first was released to this world, to the single life, that I was just all super good. Like before I knew there was a possibility that I would be ready, I was completely comfortable with myself. And then but that was because I just really felt like I was going to be like Tranisha, just Tranisha, single forever. Like I just was comfortable only being by myself and never ever dating anyone ever. Like I really had this idea in my mind that it was just going to be me and God for the rest of my life, and I was content with that. I really felt like I don't need anyone else. And I know like need is a strong word because we all need each other. Like it's easy to pretend as if we can just do everything on our own without any help, but that's not what anyone does. We all need help from someone. So that's unrealistic anyways, but I really truly did feel like I could live the rest of my life with me and God and be completely content. I felt like I didn't need anything else in my life. Like I had everything that I could want for, I had. Like God continuously was blessing me, like He continues to do today. I continuously was feeling just so much peace and joy in my mind and my soul, everything. Like my skin was glowing. Like my skin just started glowing again. But oh my gosh, God, please don't make me break out again. Like that was a hard 2 weeks of constantly getting breakouts for weird reasons. Like I was in the one video like, oh yeah, I put stuff on my face and the next day it's gone. And every single day I was breaking out for like the past 2 weeks. it wasn't until like yesterday and today that I finally stopped breaking out. My skin was going crazy. I don't know if it's because of the weather. I don't know if it's because of that one video and God was like, we're going to make sure that you don't idolize your skin. So so I learned my lesson. I'm not going to idolize my skin. I just want to take care of it. So I just, oof, my skin was going crazy. Like, you see that dot right there? Like, it's gonna take like at least a week or so for that to like fade away. But usually I don't get any scars. So I just put a curse on my skin or something. Like, I don't know, but it was bad. And I was just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I really was content in knowing that I could spend the rest of my life it just being me and God. And I really felt like I didn't ever want to like anyone ever again. I didn't want to connect with anyone ever again. I didn't want to meet anyone ever again. I just wanted to be by myself because I didn't have to worry about what someone was going to say about something. I didn't have to worry about someone wanting or needing me or feeling like I need to be a certain way or walk a certain way or talk a certain way. I didn't feel like I had to constantly look at the ground. I didn't feel like I had to be in a corner by myself, not talking to anyone because I just didn't want to be judged or be around people because I just felt like I was an introvert and I just couldn't communicate with anyone. I didn't want to go back to being the person who dressed a certain way because I didn't want to be perceived as something that I wasn't when I don't really I don't know what I thought that people were going to think, but people always have an opinion anyway, so it really doesn't matter which way I go. And I really just didn't want to feel stressed out because I felt like I wasn't being appreciated or honored or, whatever else. I really just wanted to love myself, to love God, to love myself, and then just continue through my life like that, being confident, not having anything stressing me out or worrying me or making me feel like I have to do all of these things that I don't want to do or, just feeling like I need to be at someone's beck and call or be judged constantly for being myself because, being happy was just too much or, anything like that. I really just felt so content knowing that I would never have to worry about any of those things ever again. That I would just, for God, I was good enough. I didn't have to feel insecure because God already created me exactly the way that I was supposed to be. So I don't have to be anybody else. I just have to continuously try to do better. And I just, when I used to be with certain people in general, I would always feel like I have to be like this to be with this person. I have to do this way. And then there would be like all of these rules or different things that would be appropriate or inappropriate or things that needed to happen. And when I would dress a certain way that I like to dress, then it would be, why do you have to wear this? And I, I didn't feel like I was dressing like out there. So it wasn't anything that was like over the top. I went from, and I love fashion so much. So this really broke my heart because I just felt like I had to be in a shell and be someone else. And I couldn't really feel anything because my opinion never mattered. Like anything that I wanted, anything that I could ever need was irrelevant in every single relationship I was ever in. So I would feel a certain type of way and they would always make me feel like it doesn't matter how you feel. Like I'm going to either do what you're either going to do this or this, or I don't know. Like if there was something I really truly needed, like it just wouldn't be important. And sometimes even now I could feel myself like there will be certain people and they'll say things or they'll do things or I'll say something that really truly matters to me. And it's not just like I need this because I'm trying to be bossy. It's like to my core it really does matter to me. And it's so hard for me because I want to be in a position where I'm not just asking for irrelevant things. I don't want to be the type of person who's trying to make it seem like it's all about me. I really want to consider everyone else's feelings. And it's hard to find a happy medium between what it is that I actually need and trying to make sure that I am considering what someone else needs or wants as well. And so it's like, for example, let's say this is just like an imaginary thing, but let's say communication is something that really truly matters to me. Let's say, for example, that I grew up with a person in my life who was constantly inconsistent with communication when I was a kid, and they never felt like I was important enough to even be consistent with communication. They felt like it was just the whenever I feel like it kind of thing. And then let's say that in every relationship, communication was horrible because it just, no matter what, there was always something interpreted the wrong way and it was never communicated. It was never talked about. It was just swept underneath the rug. It was something that it could be something that mattered to me and I would just blow it off, act like it didn't matter because I didn't want to make it into a big thing. I didn't want to turn it into a disagreement or anything like that. I just let it go. Let's say that happened. Then you meet someone new that is this incredible person and you want to communicate with this person because you don't want to have the type of communication that you've always had in every single relationship. You want to make sure that if something bothers you, you feel comfortable enough expressing how you feel. You you hear about this incredible person and you just want to learn more about them because they are literally like, let's say you're equally yoked with them. The way that they treat other people is with so much kindness. They literally are so patient and understanding. And you say everything the wrong way. And you just feel like you would really. Okay, you say everything the wrong way. Like everyone, no one says everything perfectly. There's always going to be something that you do wrong. But let's say communication is important because of your childhood, because of your past relationships, and you want to make sure that you feel comfortable enough expressing how you feel in any situation. You want to make sure that you have consistency and the communication is right because communication is everything. It really, to my soul, communication means so much to me. It's not just like a, I want to communicate because I want to talk about myself all day. It's not just like a, I want to communicate because I love talking. I mean, now I do love talking to every person because I don't know, I just love seeing people's like expressions change and people like the light in their eyes when they're talking about something that they really care about, or like when they are talking about something that they're dealing with and they feel comfortable enough expressing that to me. It just makes me feel so like good in my soul. It feels like, oh, like I really truly see this person. I really truly want the best for every single person that I communicate with. I know it sounds crazy, but I really do. And so so it's just it for me to have a voice, to feel like I can actually speak up for myself matters so much to me. Like I really don't ever want to be in a situation where I feel like I have to just sit there and shut up. I don't want to ever be in a position where I feel like my opinion doesn't matter ever again. I don't want to be in a situation where I feel like inconsistency is supposed to be good enough because inconsistency reaps immaturity. It is one of those things that really sucks. It really sucks so much. right now. This whole, it's just really important to me to be able to feel like I can communicate, to feel like I'm being heard, to feel like when something, and it's so weird because I will like meet people or like whatever else, and we'll have a conversation about something or whatever, and I'll say something like, "Oh yeah, communication is really important to me." Or something like that. Let's say like we've known each other for a while and I just say communication is really important to me. And the person might just be like, "Oh, okay." Like, whatever. And or like most of the guys or something would say something like, "Oh yeah, well it doesn't make any sense." Whatever. Like communication is not important. Like it's not as big of a deal as it really truly is. Imagine if there's someone that you love in your life who you can never talk to again. That's how me without communication feels. Like, I feel like me not being able to express myself after I've been trying to be something that I'm not for so long, after I have been like not doing this whole fashion thing, like after I've like just been like so like I don't want to cause a problem, so let me never speak up for myself, after being like I just have to be a certain way and talk a certain way and do things a certain way. And the one time I actually feel comfortable enough speaking up for myself is taken the wrong way. It makes me feel, at first, it made me feel like, well, what's the point of me voicing what it is that I will ever need? Because this is how every person is going to feel. They're always going to feel like it's irrelevant. They're always going to feel like it doesn't matter what I want or what I need as long as they feel comfortable. And I know that sounds crazy because the right person probably will be okay with good communication, because you can't build anything on miscommunication. You can't build anything on just someone going along with things just because. You can't build anything on just a one-sided thing. Like that, if I had to be with someone that I could never communicate with, it would kill me. I know that's like real harsh, and people are like, "What? That makes no sense." There's people who don't talk that like are good or whatever else. Good for them. Good for those people. But I really truly like it, to my core, means a lot to me. Like, let's say if that childhood story was true. It it literally brings that person brings me back to childhood if that's true. So not only is it making me feel like it, when a person feels like I'm not important enough to even communicate with, it makes me feel like they feel like I'm not ish. Like I'm nothing. I'm lower than nothing. Like I don't matter at all. I'm so irrelevant in their eyes. It doesn't matter what happens to me or how I feel, or that I even feel insecure or insignificant or irrelevant, or like my feelings don't matter. It just doesn't matter to them at all. It just, as long as, you can do the bare minimum or breadcrumb, then that's good enough. Like, that's how I feel without communication. I really truly feel like that person obviously feels like I'm not good enough if they feel like consistent communication is irrelevant. And it's weird because I should just be good because I was good before. And I might not put this video up. But the revolution has to be televised. No, let me stop. But no, it's just, it's really difficult to work on yourself so much to get to a place where you feel content, where you actually feel like I'm going to speak up for myself. I really do care about what I feel and my opinion, and because God loves me, I'm good enough just to meet someone who makes me feel like I'm irrelevant. It's like a slap in the face. Like I could have, like, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It feels so, it would be easy if, let's say, in pretend mode, this is a person who is a good person. If it was a person who was a bad person, who was an ish, like it would be so easy to feel like, oh well, whatever, I know I'm good enough because who cares what that person thinks. But when it's like a decent human being that just feels like you're not good enough, it really makes you question yourself. And I would like to pretend as if it really doesn't matter. Like, who cares what anyone else thinks? And you know how like all the women on these YouTube channels, not all of them, but you'll see like a good amount of them will pretend as if it really just doesn't matter what anyone thinks. They just don't care about anybody's opinion. And I do mostly not care about what anyone thinks. Like if there's people that truly love me and they say something from a caring place, of course I care about what they think. I mean, I can't just pretend like I don't care about what anyone thinks. And every other person who, like, I care about their well-being, every person that I come in contact with. Do I take their opinion to heart and feel like I have to live by whatever it is that they feel? No. And I don't know. It's just been really hard for me wrapping my mind around feeling like now I feel better, but it's like I really struggled previously. I really was struggling hard, and I still have some days that it's just like, so what is the point? Like, what's the point of that happening if I'm just going to be let down again? What is the point of, I really felt so content with myself, with everything that was going on in my life. So happy and blessed and just so gracious and just really feeling like I don't need anything else just for me to feel irrelevant or just for me to feel unappreciated again or to feel like I'm not good enough again. Like, really? Like, what is the whole purpose of that? It makes no sense. I really, really felt so peaceful and happy in my life. And now I have moments where I just feel like it's really difficult for me to just, and like I said, it could be so easy if it's just a horrible person who just is horrible. It's a horrible, horrible person. A horrible, terrible, no good, very bad person. Like I would just be like, oh, okay, whatever. You know, is what it is. Like several other people, I could just be like, whatever. Doesn't matter. Who cares? I mean, like I said, I care about everyone's well being, but I really just have that mentality when I come in contact with normal people. It's just like, okay, it is what it is. And this time, I feel like crap. I really do like have my moments where it's just like, that insecurity sets in. And I just feel all of the stuff from the past with the ex and some of the other horrible decisions that I made in the past. And I'm not saying the ex is a horrible decision. I'm just saying in general, like making a blanket statement of everything. I really just feel like, and I really feel like it's Satan using, because he could use anything. He could use a good person, a bad person. He could use a good blessing, anything that he possibly can to make you feel like crap, to make you to make you have some sort of cynicism in your life. He really will do whatever it takes to negate any blessing that God gives you in your life. He will do whatever it takes to make you feel like you're not good enough. And I really truly feel like it's so weird because when you're Christian, you always are like somewhere in between, like, is this God or is this him? You know, because it always feels like a blessing until it almost strips you of your identity, until it starts to make you second guess yourself, and until it starts to make you feel badly about everything that you're doing in life, until you start to get off course, you get distracted, you start to deter from your purpose, you pull away from praying every day or whatever else it is. And it's like he, and I'm not saying that it's this person in general. And I'm just, the whole communication thing is just a blanket, like it's a whole, why do I keep wanting to say blanket statement? It's just an example of how important communication is to me. It's not saying that this person or any other person did this. I'm just saying in general, communication is so important to me because it helps me express myself. It helps me build trust with any new person that I meet. It helps me feel like I'm being heard and seen. It makes me feel like the person feels like they they accept me. Do I want to say accept me? I just feel like they are considering my feelings because they're listening to me say something, or because they're allowing me the space to feel comfortable enough to express myself. And every person that I come in contact with is just like, communication is not a big deal. It's no, doesn't matter at all. Like, no one cares. And I know people watching this video are like, the right person will care, blah. Why? Couldn't I just be by myself and just enjoy my life with God? I don't understand why I even need to meet any person at all. It doesn't make any sense to me because I really felt so light. And sometimes I have days now where it's just like, like, it's really like I be in my feelings and everything. I was not trying to feel any type of emotion. I was just trying to, live life, do my thing, be in my purpose, be about that God life. That's what I was planning on doing. And it's so weird that this is what it had to come to. Like, why? Doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know if I feel like I really truly feel like every person had good intentions. And I really feel like every person had good intentions. And also, when you're not ready, just don't date anybody. Don't do anything. Just stay by yourself until you're ready. Like, seriously. Because I felt like I was kind of maybe ready, but I don't know if I was really, really ready. And so I was just like, and then the weird thing is, I guess I can divulge this because it really doesn't matter now. But, uh, God was just like, just wait. And I felt healed. I thought that I was fine. And, it's got to be something really convincing to make me feel like I even wanted to, like, it's so weird because usually I'm just "Mm." Like, this is the example I'm gonna give, and I'm not doing this from like a conceited place or anything like that. I'm really just telling a story. So please don't take it that way at all. I mean, you could take it however you want to, but that's not my intention. That's not where I'm coming from. But I can meet like several guys, and let's say I'm with friends or family members or whatever, and they happen to be there, they're watching at a distance or something, or they see something happen, and it'll be this gorgeous guy or something, and he'll come up and, hey, how are you doing, blah 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 blah. And I'll just be like, oh, okay, and just, nope, not ready or whatever, and just keep it moving. And my friends, family members, whoever will be like, oh my gosh, he was gorgeous. Why won't you talk to that guy? And I'm just like, I'm just not ready. And I really felt like I wasn't ready before then. And Or it'll be another guy and he just has a lot of money or something. And it's like, no, not ready. Like, I don't care what you look like. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care about any of that stuff. What I care about is me. Well, back at that time, I cared about me being ready. And now, like when it does happen, I'm just like, what is the point? Why even try? Like, I don't know. And then also, I just feel like, and of course, again, they'll have their opinion. Oh, this guy just seems like blah 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 blah. Like, yeah, I could see, I understand that he's attractive, but I don't care. And like, of course, I want to be attracted to the person and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that like him being attractive doesn't matter at all. I'm just saying that for me, it's I need something way more than some guy that just has a whole bunch of girls just fawning over him because he's attractive. Like, I'm gonna need you to really be equally yoked. I'm gonna need you to be about that God life because God is everything to me. I'm gonna need us to have similar values. Like, because if my values are here and your values are over there, can you imagine if we end up getting serious or having a kid and then we are trying to raise the kid two totally different ways because we believe in two totally different things? Like, it just won't work. And it's going to be a lot of conflict for no reason. I don't want to add additional conflict that I don't need in my life. That makes no sense. And also, like, am I being respected? Do they honor and respect me? Like, do they respect my opinion? Do they respect me as a person? Because if they don't respect me because I have a daughter, I can't allow someone who doesn't respect me to be a part of my life because I don't want her to be with someone who does not respect her. I can't I can't love myself and be with someone who completely is disrespectful towards me. That's just not going to work out. And I know, like, I'll say things like, oh, yeah, if this person is equally yoked in this, then it will be really hard for me to, like, have standards and stuff like that. It really is. When you meet someone who's equally yoked, this is just for people, for future reference, if you have started dating or whatever, when you meet someone who is attractive, who's equally yoked, who has the same values as you, and you are getting ready to set a standard, and let's say you fall, your standard is out the window, or it's there but it's not as hard as you would want the standard to be. It's not as permanent, or it's not as, I don't know what other words I want to use there, but it's not what you want it to be for your standard because the person has everything that you've been looking for. And so then you just, instead of you treating the person like you should be treating them so that they could be about that life, now that person is acting like every other guy because you haven't stuck to your standards. So now you have to lose out on a great guy because you decided that you were just going to let some things slide. And now they think you are a weak, irrelevant person because oh my gosh, I'm so in my feelings right now. But yeah, mm, it's just crazy. That's what's gonna happen though when you meet someone like that. So just be careful. Look out for yourself. Just be strong. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be so hard to do the right thing, to really stick to your guns, to really just be everything that God wants you to be. Because you not honoring yourself is you not honoring God. You lowering your standards, especially below something that really, truly, truly matters to you, it's going to weaken you in the long haul. It's going to make you feel horrible about yourself. Like, you're going to think, oh, it's fine because I feel like I'm in control. And you will feel in control at the beginning because that's exactly what the adversary wants you to feel. He wants you to feel like you can hang out and Netflix and chill and not do anything. He wants you to feel like you could really lower your standards a few times and the guy will still respect you or still honor you or treat you the way that you're supposed to be treated. But he won't. He's never, ever, ever going to treat you the way that you deserve to be treated because you let some things slide that you would never have let slide with any other person. So now he thinks you're weak, which I hate to use the word weak, but this is how I feel about myself when I put myself in these types of situations. Now he thinks you're weak because you let things slide that really truly matter to you. And now he will never ever be able to give you any of the things that you truly desire. You may want communication, but you'll never ever be able to talk to that person. They will never ever feel like you deserve or you should have communication. That will be the thing that you will never get from that person because you don't matter. And no matter what it is, I'm just using communication as an example, but whatever it is, it will never, unless you put your foot down in the beginning, unless you really say why or how it matters to you, take your time, don't rush through anything. If you know you need a week to get to know someone before you go on a date, or a week and a half, or 2 weeks, or however long it takes, you feel comfortable enough to feel like you can express to say no when you need to. You feel as comfortable as you need to know that your voice can be heard, that you don't have to be silent or just sit there and shut up or whatever else. You will know the type of person it is, and you might not know them, but you will be comfortable enough to go on a date. So maybe I'll write a book about all the mistakes I make because your girl will be messing up. Like, I really did everything wrong, and I continue to make mistakes. It's just what it is. I really try to be a good person and do the right thing, but I do mess up every day. And like I said, this video probably won't go out. I probably will just let this be a vent session. But it's just, if something's really important to you, you need to let it be known that it's important to you. You can't just let it slide. You can't just pretend like it's not important. You can't just whatever. And the adversary might even let you meet a nice guy just so he can crush you. Like, crush your spirit, crush your joy, take your peace away, whatever else it is that he needs to do. He'll do whatever it takes to try to keep you away from your purpose because he does not play fair. He will give you everything that you think that you want or need in a person, everything besides something that's really important. He will do whatever it takes to try to distract you from following the path that God laid forth for you. He will do whatever it takes to make you feel like you don't appreciate your life. He will do whatever it takes to make you feel like you don't have the things that you need when God gives you everything that you need, everything that your heart desires. He might even make you second guess God and say it doesn't make any sense why you can't get this thing right now, because he'll make you go ahead of your time. If God is saying wait 3 months, a year, however long it is, do not go ahead of God, because God is preparing that person to be the person that you need. God is preparing you to be the person that person needs. Like, God is doing things in the meantime that you don't know about, that you don't need to know about. And so when you try to rush God, when you try to go ahead of him, you are just you're messing up the whole situation. You're making yourself weak because you're desperately wanting the person. You are letting way too many things slide. You are lowering your standards. You're being someone that you never intended to be. And now your self-esteem is hit. Now you are becoming insecure in areas that you've already healed in. Now you are this person that you don't even recognize because you have allowed the enemy a footstool. You have allowed the enemy a foothold. Why did I say footstool? What in the world? I need to go to bed. But but just be careful. Protect yourself at all costs. Do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that you get what you need. And also consider the fact that other people have feelings. Be considerate. In conclusion, be considerate of other people's feelings. Know that they have things that they're going through as well. That it's not just about you. It's not just about what it is that you want or what it is that you need. Sometimes Maybe it takes a conversation. If the conversation doesn't work, maybe they just don't care about you. I don't know. And I only say that because you can't make someone like you. You can't make someone be willing to consider your feelings. You can't make someone appreciate you or honor you or respect you. They choose to do that on your own, and it might suck that you could honor and respect someone else and they could not honor and respect you, or you could think someone is amazing and they could think you're nothing. But sometimes that's life. And even though it sucks, know that God has better for you. And even when you can't imagine that God has better for you, He truly does have better for you, because He's not going to let you go out like that. God is not going to present something that seems like everything that you want to leave you with nothing. He is not going to tell you that while you are content being single, tell you that you are going to be in a relationship and that's what you're going to need to do to advance the kingdom, because there's other things that you can do together that you can't do by yourself. And just to allow you to meet someone who will never respect or appreciate you, just so that you could be let down and disappointed in yourself and feel like crap. God would never want you to just only have that in your life and to just go out like that. He obviously has better for you. And the next person will be everything that you're looking for and a good communicator. I just use that as an example. And they're not going to be perfect, but they're going to be willing to honor and respect you. And you will look back one day and realize that God had better for you.